Things are changing very, very fast and quickly in Bangladesh. What's going to happen? What's the electoral future of Bangladesh and the situation on the ground? To discuss more on this is an exclusive conversation with the General Secretary of Bangladesh Nationalist Party, Mirza Fakhrul Islam Alamgir. Thank you so much, sir, for joining us here on the India Today Network. Um, let's begin with the situation on the ground. After the ouster of Sheikh Hasina, we've seen a lot of violence, and the situation does seem a little dire when it comes to people at the border between India and Bangladesh. Please tell us what is the situation and how is it that the leadership now is going to contain the situation?
Thank you, Geeta. Uh, Thank you for inviting me for this interview. In fact, you must be knowing that there was a revolution took place recent week in Bangladesh. They is led by students and the people in general. They revolted against the one-party rule of Sheikh Hasina. We say the fascist Sheikh Hasina. Uh, that was the exact thing what happened. It was a revolution. When there is a revolution and the upsurge of the people, few days will be there where law and order situation will not be that comfortable, and at the same time, some people will try to do some mischiefs also. So
Right.
after the revolution took place, when and Sheikh Hasina fled away from the country, and all the ministers, they also fled away from the country. The the anger of the people is so high here in Bangladesh that, in fact, the rule of Sheikh Hasina for 15 years, it was a real trauma for them, nightmare rather. So the students, they revolted, and you know that during the movement, several hundreds were killed by police forces. Few thousands were injured by bullet injuries. Even the babies and the teenagers were not spared. And before this revolution also, in the last 15 years, the main opposition, our party, we lost almost more than 2,000 people killed by the then regime, Awami League. And 700 politicians and activists were just they disappeared. And you'll be surprised to know, I don't think it has happened anywhere in the world, that almost 6 million cases were lost against our activists and our leaders. All of our leaders, including the Begum Jia, myself, and other senior leaders, we have not less than 100 cases against us. I went to jail for 11 times. 11 times. So that was the situation in Bangladesh. So naturally, after this change, which was orchestrated by the people and the students, so naturally there will be some issues will be there. But fortunately, the moment the interim government has taken over, led by the Nobel laureate, a very respected person, you know that, Dr. Yunus, Professor Yunus, the things have started changing. And in the cabinet, the respected people and the academicians, bureaucrats of a very high integrity, the students and the women activists, human rights activists, they have taken over in the interim government. So
Right.
we hope that shortest possible time things will be brighter in Bangladesh.
All right. Students protest in the beginning, then it turned violent, and then we've also seen. Do you think it took a political turn? That there was also involvement of political
No,
parties
no,
later,
no, no, no.
and that BNP did have a role to play in the ousting of
BNP was always trying to oust the government. It was last 15 years. BNP had lot of programs, protests, and demonstrations. Lakhs of people used to join the rallies. In August also, there were 20 lakh people who were in a rally and the main demand was the ouster of the former Prime Minister, that was Sheikh Hasina. So now the students' demand, it in fact sparked the whole nation, and these people started coming out of the houses. Violence was not created by the students. Violence was created by the government. They invaded the residential houses of Dhaka University and of our other universities. They killed so many students there. And that's why it happened like that. It was the outcome of the violence of the government. And that's why the anger is so high.
We do know that the BNP is an opposition party boycotting the election, standing firmly against Sheikh Hasina, has been going on for a very long time. But the proposal for quota in government for veterans, was that a moment that the BNP
we supported the logical movement of the students. In fact, we also said that the quota system which was introduced by the government was not, in fact, it doesn't help the talented students to get their jobs. That's why they demanded that, and we also supported that.
Well, Alamgir Sahab, any truth to, now there are a lot of theories that are doing the round. Every time we have a leader in any part of the world who has to flee the country the way and the manner in which Sheikh Hasina has had to, there are always theories. So over here, there is a lot of speculation on foreign interference and foreign hand. There have been a lot of conversations and engagement of the United States of America and Bangladesh, especially with the civil society, students, activists, and the opposition leaders.
Unfortunately, the media in India and some international media as well, they trying to give this narrative, but not at all. No foreign power was involved in it. Even it was surprised to know that on the day of the resignation of the Prime Minister, the day, what was the D-Day, in fact, at that time the US ambassador didn't know what is happening, and the UK High Commissioner also didn't know what is happening. The United Nations, the president here, she also didn't know that was happening in this country. So it was no foreign power was involved with this movement. It's not at all. Not at all. It's a wrong narrative being put by the Indian media.
Okay. No foreign interference, a homegrown revolution is how you're defining it in terms of.
It's not only me, Geeta. It's the reality. It's the reality. You ask anybody, any media here or any editor of the main dailies here, they will say the same thing. Even we couldn't believe that these things will happen so quickly.
All right. But now you have an interim government, and like you said, it's Dr. Muhammad Yunus, none other than the man who has worked very closely at grassroots level in Bangladesh, was charged by Sheikh Hasina regime in the past, and we do know that the relationship was a very difficult one. But now he's back. He's heading a government. What is BNP's position on an interim government that has been formed, the members of that interim government, and the fact that Dr. Yunus is heading it?
We have welcomed this government officially, and not only us, all the political parties of our country, they have welcomed this government. And we are quite confident that the persons who have been included in the cabinet are quite capable, efficient, and they are neutral persons, and they have no political ambitions. So we believe that after completing their job, that is bringing the country in order, at the same time bringing some reforms, because Sheikh Hasina's government, the regime, destroyed all the political institutions of this country, the democratic institutions as well as the institutions of the state. The judiciary was completely politicized. The administration was politicized. Even the law enforcing agencies, that was also politicized. No individual was recruited without the recommendation of Awami League. So that there has to be some reforms. It must come into order. That may take some time, and we are always ready to give any time to this new government.
About elections, do you think this interim government will be a prolonged government or one that will work towards an election sooner than later, sir?
Now, we have always said that the elections should be, soon the elections should be held, because we believe in democracy and we believe that the country should be ruled democratically. And they have also committed, they are committed to democracy also. And we believe that as soon as possible, they will go for the election.
Well, you're absolutely right on one count. I was interviewing Dr. Yunus when he was in Paris, and he did say that he has no political ambitions and that what he wants is to ensure a safe, secure, and a democratic future for Bangladesh. So on that count, you're absolutely correct, Alamgir Sahab. But when it comes to political prisoners, we're seeing a lot of political prisoners being released. But those from secret detention, how many of them have been released that Sheikh Hasina's government had said that they'd gone missing and they know nothing about?
Unfortunately, it was all done with the instruction of the former Prime Minister. The persons who were detained in secret houses, they call it Ainakar. Yes. And people like Brigadier General Azmi, or barristers, or students, they 10 years, 12 years they were kept there. And you know that almost 700 of our leaders and even our MPs were just disappeared. The enforced disappearance. Ilyas Ali were MP from Sylhet, and other two MPs were also abducted. We didn't get any trace of them. So there is an organization, it's called Mayat Dak. This organization was every year, they are asking the government, please bring out those people and tell us whether they are living or not. The worst part is that the government doesn't take any responsibility. They are not telling whether they are dead or they are in their custody. So that was the problem. In fact, the government itself, Awami League's government itself, created this position for this uprising. No, you ask anybody in this country, anybody, even a rickshaw puller, a small trader, or the farmer, or the worker, the factory, they will never like that government. And now there is a sort of festival mood going on in the country. People are distributing sweets and everything that we have been relieved of a tyranny.
Right. But Alamgir Sahab, will you in the elections also expect Awami League to participate, or is there going to be no?
Why not? That's their decision. That will be their decision. But in a democracy, all the political parties they are free to take part in the election.
That's a very important point you make. But my question is, who will be the face of your party during elections? Is it going to be Khalida Zia herself, Begum Khalida Zia, or is it going to be Tariq Rahman Zia, or for that matter, is it going to be you?
BNP is a totally a committed democratic party. And you must be knowing that we are in government 3 times, an elected government, popularly elected government. Begum Khalida Zia was Prime Minister for 3 times elected government. And she lost no election. We have a constitution of our party. And in that party, Begum Khalida Zia is the chairperson of the party. And while she was sick and interned in prison, she was our acting chairman, Tariq Rahman, was elected as the acting chairman of the party. Now, because she is very sick, though she is free now, Khalida Zia could not take the chairmanship right now. So whenever she gets cured and fully capable of coming to office, she will definitely come. And Mr. Tariq Rahman, who is now abroad on different false fabricated charges, he will come back definitely. And all the people of this country, they want that she should come back. And if he comes back, naturally, Begum Khalida Zia and Tariq Rahman, if they are fit physically and legally, they will take a part in the election. And Begum Khalida Zia is our leader, and in her absence, Tariq Rahman is our leader.
And Tariq Rahman is going to return sooner than later from London?
It depends on the legal problems. If that is clear, then definitely she will return. People are waiting for his return.
But the face of the BNP will remain Khaleda Zia in the elections that are to come.
Khaleda Zia is the chairperson of the country, and she is the most popular leader. There's no doubt. You're correct. That is still the face. She is the face, and Mr. Tariq Rahman is the next man.
Alamgir Saab, the one thing that everybody's looking at is if BNP goes into elections, it is a Jamaat-e-Islami combine, then what happens to Bangladesh? What is the future that you're looking for Bangladesh? Is BNP going to fight?
Why do the Indian media always try to bracket BNP and Jamaat together?
I
don't know. That's the narrative they always try to give. BNP is a completely liberal democratic party.
So you want to go alone in the election?
Let me take this frankly.
Yeah.
Jamaat is another party which believes in establishment of Islam. We are committed to democracy, liberal democracy. So there are a lot of differences between these two parties. And Jamaat Islam was our election ally previously, not now. Yeah. Awami League also was in close connection with Jamaat when they were on the election. So it is in India also, the parties for the different alliances, they change their positions. It's common in democracy. It's common in democracy. So if you believe in democracy, why do you obstruct a party to take part in the election? If there is any problem, go to the court and try to sort it out. That's a different question.
So the ban on Jamaat will be lifted before elections. They will be fighting alone, and BNP will.
The ban was totally illegal ban. It was illegal ban. The government had no right to ban Jamaat because we believe in democracy. We believe in freedom of speech, freedom of association. We believe in those things.
Okay. And so BNP will go alone during the elections? There is going to be no...
It will depend on the circumstances, When the election comes, even in India, just before the election, things change. You know it very well. So there is also alliance government in the center in India. The Modi government is an alliance government. Same with Rahul. He has got alliances. So that's common in democracy, and especially in the subcontinent democracy.
Okay, the fact that you mentioned Prime Minister Modi and Congress leader Rahul Gandhi, let's talk about relations with India. How do you see relations with India? India did share very, very strong ties with the Awami League, particularly with Sheikh Hasina. And there have been problems in the past between the BNP and the Indian government, whosoever was in power here in New Delhi. Do you see a change or a shift in that stance of the BNP? How are you going to look for India?
In fact, the problem is that it's not there. The problem is what India thinks about the politics in Bangladesh. If India thinks that only one party, relationship with only one party will help India in her activities or in politics or maintaining geopolitics in South Asia, I think they have to rethink about it. Because we always say to them that is make relationship with people to people, not with a particular political party. Awami League is a party which is not liked by the people. I feel they fail to understand this issue. That Awami League is becoming the worst unpopular political party in Bangladesh. They fail to read that. And that's why they were just taken aback when this thing happened. In fact, BNP as a political party has got no problem with India because India is the biggest neighbor. And we wanted that there should be good relationship with India. We tried our best also. We had several meetings, but unfortunately, whenever the election comes, it happens so that there is a sort of environment created that India supports Awami League to come to power. I think now India should come out of that narrative and they should give that the people should be given the highest priority.
Maybe Alamgir Sahib, the concern is with regards to how Bangladesh will conduct itself with Pakistan. For India, that certainly becomes a concern. Not so much China. Of course, China will be a concern, but not so much China. I say this because every country India is dealing with has ties with China, which includes the United States of America. So, how is Bangladesh, should you come to power, going to balance
We
relations
we
in
we
the
we
picture
we, we are in
with
the government.
Pakistan in the picture?
We were in the government several times in the past, and we had very good relationships with India as well as China. And even today, I think we have got very good relationship with the Indian diplomats here in Dhaka. Then China is also our good friend. Pakistan is party, but they are also there. Uh, Sri Lanka, Nepal, we have got all good relationship with them. And as because BNP is in a position, BNP definitely believes that all countries should be our friends, and we have to build good relationship with them.
Right. Is there a time frame for the election, Salamgir sir? Is there a
Not
time,
exact, not exactly time frame. The sooner the better.
but within the year? Are we looking at it within the year,
It it
or
will it
is
will
it prolonged till next year?
it will depend on the new government how quick they can prepare themselves for the election.
Okay, that's interesting. But again, I ask this is because the situation, certainly, I'm going back to my first question, is certainly a little dire. The reports of persecution of minorities, particularly the Hindu community, has become a concerning issue. India and the Indian Prime Minister, while congratulating and wishing Professor Mohammad Yunus, also said that the Hindus should be safe and secure in Bangladesh. How concerning is the situation? And can there be any resolution when we see a lot of the radical forces now in the streets, burning homes, and targeting the minorities, particularly Hindus?
Not a single case of targeting the minority happened in Dhaka, as far as you know. Some incidents took place where it say that the Awami Leaguers, in fact, the Awami Leaguers' houses or some places were burned. That was on the 5th only, on the 5th. And after that, when the government took over, we were there on the field, we stopped everything. But I don't think it was the Hindu community was targeted. Never. I don't believe
Temples
that.
have been burnt. Alamgir sir,
I
temples have
say,
been burned. There are videos of temples.
not in Dhaka. I haven't seen a single one in Dhaka.
Nothing.
Outside the country, maybe some places, some temples, it happens. The problem is that whenever there is a change, there is a change of the government, that means there is a revolution. It was a revolution. So at the first week of the revolution, it's it's possible that some bad things will happen. But when the government takes over, there was a government for 3 or 4 days. So
Right.
naturally, now the government has taken over. Things will be better, definitely. But I can assure you one thing: the narrative which is being given by some media in India as well as outside, I think they are not reading the mind of the people correctly. I will invite them. They should come to Dhaka. They should see themselves what is happening here. You will be surprised to know that the students were in the protest. Now they are controlling the traffic. Now they are guarding the houses of all the citizens. Now the house of Salman Rahman was burned. The house of Amir Ramu was burned. The house of Anisur Haq was burned. Why? They were not minority. They were Awami Leaguers.
Yeah.
The anger against the Awami League was so big. It was so terrible that these things happened. Awami League's behavior was so bad in the last few decades.
But will you assure, is there any assurance for safety of minorities?
I beg your pardon.
Is there any assurance of safety for minorities?
Of course, we have formed all the peace committees everywhere. The government is now trying to establish the authority of the government everywhere. The meetings are being held everywhere. You know, I am from my constituency, in the remote areas. There's a northern area. And there, in my constituency, there are 35% voters belong to the Hindu community. But I can assure you, nothing happened there except few houses burning, things like that. And they were political leaders, not they don't belong to. They were not, the houses were burned not because of their minority, but because they were Awami Leaguers. That happened. And I'm denying that a few houses were burned, but that was anti-Awami League stance at the time.
But political persecution also should not happen, right?
That should not happen. That's the thing. But it happens, when there is a revolution or there is some sort of uprising. It happens throughout the world. It's global phenomenon. In your country also, it happens. You know it better.
There's a situation at the border. There are scores of people from Bangladesh who are waiting to cross over.
These things are, frankly, this narrative is being they are some vested interest group are trying to do that. They again try to destabilize the country. That's their intention. But I think that will be successful. People are quite conscious, and the government as well as the political parties and our parties, especially, we are trying to we ask them not to be panicked and not to do anything which will go against the country.
Will some of the BNP leaders actually go to those areas and assure them, because they are really trying to?
They're trying to bring peace in the whole area. It's not only the minority. You have now, just because there was no law enforcing agencies. They were so afraid that their misdeeds were so big that they were afraid. They refrained themselves from coming to the offices. But now they are coming back, and the political leaders, especially the BNP leaders, they have already performing their duties, just like to bring an order the whole situation.
Alamgir sir, just a couple of questions before I let you go. Investments. Now, Bangladesh had been doing well, at least economically, to a certain extent. Will the investments of India in Bangladesh be impacted and affected? India?
All investments would be guaranteed. There will be no such problem which will jeopardize the investment in Bangladesh. No way. We will protect that with our strength.
That is good to hear and good to know. And not just Indian interests, all the other, but there are many foreign companies.
Of
from
course.
America, from various other.
We shall not allow anybody to hamper any industrial growth or the economic development. We shall not allow that.
Alamgir Sahab, has engagement begun with New Delhi? Has New Delhi started engaging the BNP, or are they still waiting to see what's happening on the ground?
I don't know exactly. In India, the diplomats, we met them at the oath-taking ceremony. We were very cordial, and I think the statement of Prime Minister Modi, that was also helping to cool down the situation, and definitely things will be much better.
And about Sheikh Hasina being hosted in New Delhi, is there any plan in the future? Because you would be looking at the political persecutions under her government and seeking accountability. Would you also seek her extradition?
That will depend on the next government, the present government, or the interim government, or people whether there will be cases against her or not. But I think now the India and other democratic countries, they should think that the democracy should be allowed in Bangladesh. And the main problem is the elections now. When the elections couldn't take place, the opposition couldn't take part. And India should not interfere in any election time process. And that was some people think that India interferes, but I think that narrative should go. India should always, according to me, always try to take the people as their friends, not any particular political party.
Is there discomfort that New Delhi is hosting Sheikh Hasina?
Discomfort in Bangladesh.
Yeah, discomfort in Bangladesh, discomfort with the BNP, or the fact
No,
that
no. But Sheikh Hasina in Bangladesh is not at all a popular political leader. Now the people in Bangladesh, they want that she should be tried also.
exactly.
Yeah, this is very common, and this is very, the people want it because she has committed so many crimes. The corruption was rampant, and the killing and murder of the opposition leaders and activists, descendants, and she was trying to introduce one-party system here, which the people never agree. So naturally, there are some angers against her. People don't like that Sheikh Hasina should be allowed free. She should be accountable.
Right. So she should be held accountable. And finally, before I let you go, she is in New Delhi. It was supposed to be a temporary arrangement, but it doesn't seem like she has been able to find a way out of New Delhi to a third country. So
Why nobody is trying to give her asylum? That is also another question. So, if India thinks that it will give her asylum, that's India's problem. But India should think seriously that the relationship between people and people, the government of people, it will definitely affect in this issue.
that's a very important point, Alamgir Sahab, that you're making. No time frame for elections, but we are hoping that the interim government manages to quell the unrest right now and is able to find a time frame for elections in Bangladesh. The Bangladesh Nationalist Party is looking quite strong. We'll have to see who will be the face of the elections, but it just seems like for now, BNP is breathing again and wants to see a better, brighter Bangladesh, hoping that India-Bangladesh ties also remain intact, because for security and for regional security as well, this relationship is very important. Alamgir Saab, thank you so much for joining us here on the India Today Net.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.